Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Profit TV. This is the MLS Live podcast. I am your host, Cooper, aka the Sports Prophet, and with me, as always, is Garrett, my main man at JSomeFooty. Happy Wednesday evening to everybody tuning in. A few minutes late, had some audio issues, but we're good to go. So appreciate everybody for joining us. Garrett, how are we feeling, sir?
Feeling okay. Smashed that Miami game in your Discord. Just lit it up, and that was great. So fun night to start, and hopefully we roll it into the weekend. I need Nashville to step it up in this Cup game, though. I don't dabble in Cup games, but I really like the setup here. Then they just gave away 2 dumb ones, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it was like 2-1 DC. Is it still 2-1? Yeah. Cup games. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
The magic of the cup,
yeah, the magic. We do just a little teaser. We do have another 2-unit release. Those, of course, we had a 2-unit last week. We pushed it. We were free rolling after about 60 minutes, and we could not find a winner. So I think we're definitely happy with that read in hindsight. Just couldn't quite get over the line, but push. So no harm done. We still have not lost a multi-unit play on the show this season. So hang tight. We will get to the end of the show where we will obviously be doing another 2-unit release. So without further ado, we can get into it, though. Actually, let me upload my slides because it looked like StreamYard kicked my slides out. StreamYard is getting on my nerves today, but we're going to weather the storm. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's see here. Have you seen LAFC lineup yet for tonight? And if so, what are we looking at?
So I'll look again real quick. Your boy, the Loney DP is starting with Ordaz at the 9 and Bouanga on the other side.
Delverson.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm
everything
cool
else. Everything else is normal. Delgado and Tillman are in, so that's good. And then Colorado rolling out with basically their strongest lineup they can, except of course that other keeper is in, but he's played quite a bit this season. So
I saw.
LFC are heavy favorites there. It's not a lot of value. I took LAFC and the over 2.5 in Miami, so as a parlay. And even then, you're eating slight juice there. So not a lot of value, but it is an LAFC spot. It's also Hello Kitty night at BMO Stadium, and that place looks like a rock concert, man. Like there are people just pouring in when they open the gates. So it's gonna be a crowd for sure.
Gotta love Hello Kitty night. I also, the only other thing roster wise or player news wise to note before we get into it, I did see Brian White is back and he's starting tonight for Vancouver. So Vancouver will finally have a healthy Brian White back. So that's good. All righty, we will jump right into it. Before we do, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're officially pretty much back on YouTube for the rest of the season at the very least. So we'll be doing all of our live streams here for the foreseeable future. If you're on Twitter, retweet the tweet, like the video, all that good stuff. And here we go.
So I'll just let the cat out of the bag. I don't have a 2-unit this week, but that's because I'm trying to bring some real nice plus money value to the show this week with my looks. The first one being the Orlando City Montreal game. And this is going to be Orlando money line plus both teams to score at plus 190. Orlando have a very serviceable attack at home with almost 21 expected goals through 10 games. Their home defense has actually been great too, averaging right at 1 expected goal a game at home. Montreal road game is not great. Okay. But I've talked about this team on this show, right? Like they're just not great anywhere. It's a bottom half attack, defense outside the top 10. But where I like Montreal to get on the board here is Pedro Gillespie and Robin Jansen are suspended. And that actually, like I said, opens the door for Montreal to give them a better opportunity to score. Normally, I'm not backing this Montreal team to do anything, but I think when you're missing a starting goalkeeper and a starting center back, I just think it increases the odds, the likelihood that the other team scores. And so this line is just wild to me to be able to get Orlando, which is heavy juice. Orlando is super juiced on the money line and both teams to score at plus 190. I expect Orlando to score to win, no doubt. I think you're going to see something similar to the Miami game last week with Montreal, where Montreal actually went up one and they opened up a plethora of value for Miami bettors because then you could grab them, draw no bet, money line at a good price. You couldn't get double chance. That was still priced out. But I mean, like if they'd open up everything to Miami at that point, as far as from a value. And of course, Miami won 4-1. This is going to be something similar, I think, where Montreal is going to score at some point, but Orlando probably runs away with this with that attack. It's just too good. And so when you're able to turn that super juiced money line into plus 190, that's too good of a value to pass up in this scenario, in my opinion.
No, I think this is a really sharp look. I think that what we've kind of seen with Orlando this year, kind of a distinct difference in the way that they approach games on the road and at home. And with them being at home here, I think we're going to get an open match. Orlando has been fairly vulnerable defensively at home just because of how they play. And Montreal really has no other option but to at least try to be a counterattacking team at this point, right? So I like it. I think this is a game that Orlando could easily score 2 or 3 goals, and then you just need one from Montreal, right? And then you got a nice, almost a plus 200 price here. So I've had the privilege of seeing your card before we get to the games. Unlike our viewers, lots of good plus money tonight. So looking forward to discussing those. But this is a great one to start us off with. And I like the way you broke this one down. I see where you're coming from, and plus 190 is delicious. So we will start off with that one. All right, next game, going to the altitude, Salt Lake and Houston Dynamo. Both of these clubs were an absolute goal fest a week ago. RSL.
Insane, dude. Insane.
Yeah, right. I know. 3-2 RSL, and then Houston 4-3 at San Diego, which was bananas. Shout out to our guy HU. I know he was on Houston, big for that one. So, want to give props to our buddy. Credit where credit's due. But looking at this game, I went back and looked. These two are both top 10 XG allowed defensive units this year. I was a little bit surprised to see that RSL was top 10, but they are. I think they're like 9th or 10th, and Houston is like 8th. So both of these are actually good defensive teams analytically. And then when you look at Houston, they've allowed 3 goals in like 4 of their last 6 games or something crazy, maybe even 5. Like they were really solid defensively and then just like got into a bunch of goal fests. All of those games massively overshot the big chances and the expected goal number. Like all of those goal fests for Houston went way over the expected goal number, big chances, and even the eye test, right? So I think we're due for some kind of coming back down to earth here. I do not believe, I know RSL obviously was a big time fun over team last year. This is not the same RSL team. I expect Luna to be back in some capacity for this one after Gold Cup. He starts. I mean, even if he does, I think we come back to earth here on these ridiculous shootouts that are just like basically everything's gone in for these two teams, recently. And I don't think that is going to continue. Houston is conservative on the road, and that's just kind of how Ben Pierman plays or coaches, in general, right? So under 2.75, I think it should be a 2.5 game. I'll gladly take the 2.75 Asian line and have, the opportunity at a little extra push protection, right? But yep.
Yeah, no, I got no issues with this under. I hate these attacks. I hate them. They're not good, and they don't have good players in the attack either. It's not just like they're underperforming; they're just not talented in the attack. Now, I will say Houston's attack is going to get better as the season goes on. Getting an Ollie back, we saw
Yep.
his speed firsthand in that San Diego game, dude. He just flat out outran everyone on one of those balls to score. But that's what Houston's attack is built around. Anali and Keonis, who's still hurt, right? So um, Houston might be a little dangerous here. RSL with Luna might be a little dangerous here, but yeah, I can't see this one getting past 3. I really can't see it getting past like a 1-1, a 1-0 type situation. But with the 2.75, you're getting a little bit protection in case you get to that 3 mark, where you're just gonna lose a half unit instead of the whole thing by taking the slight plus money on the 2.5. So I do like this look here. I like how it's being played. And yeah, these attacks stink, man. They just stink.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't feel like this game gets past a 1-1, and I think you'd need Diego Luna magic and maybe an own goal. So taking the under here, I think these attacks come back to earth. Alrighty, and we go to the Midwest.
So yeah, this one's pretty simple for me. It's going to be the Minnesota money line as Minnesota hosts San Jose Earthquakes. I get it about it minus 110 right now. And this is just a San Jose fade here, given the circumstances. San Jose have one of the best attacks in MLS. We know this. Even on the road, it's been great. But this has just been a rough week for them. They played 10 men on the weekend for almost like 30 minutes or so, and then played extra time yesterday, only to lose in penalties. The reason why I bring that up in that playtime, because Minnesota's played the same games, right? They played on the weekend, they played yesterday as well. Is San Jose plays such a high tempo attack and just system in general that those guys, I fully believe there's going to be a tiredness to them this weekend. And when I'm getting a good Minnesota side at home at minus 110, that just feels like value. Like home home field advantage is a real thing. These teams perform at home. Minnesota is one of those teams. They don't lose at home hardly ever. There is some drawness, like here possibly,
Yeah,
if the Quakes had a regular week. If they'd played, full 11 on the weekend, didn't have extra time week yesterday, I probably would have been on the draw here because that's just what San Jose does on the road. I just think that extra time they're having to play with that up tempo system is going to eventually catch up with them. Minnesota feels like a good spot for that to happen. And I think you're getting a really good price on the money line here because of it. And so this is just attacking the circumstances at hand and taking what I think is a good Minnesota side to win at home.
yeah. I think Minnesota's is a good team too, and I also think that they are a nightmare matchup for the Quakes. If the Quakes go 2 forwards here against this absolutely dynamic, electric counterattack at Minnesota, I think Minnesota's okay with conceding possession in this one, and I think that San Jose is going to be running for their life to try to keep up with the Loons going the other way on this one. So I think it's not just a good spot, but I also think a very, very tricky matchup for San Jose. And then, like you said, they're already dealing with the midweek game that went to extra time, right? So I like it, Garrett.
And
All right.
I will say the guy who's suspended for the Quakes, DeJuan Jones, he is actually important to that attack. Like him and Espinoza overlap a lot. He's got 5 or 6 assists on the season. He does add quality to that Bruce Arena attack, and they will be missing that.
Yeah, good player. Definitely a Bruce guy and very integral to that approach. All right, here we go, folks. We are officially releasing our next 2 unit for the show. So let's get to it. LA Galaxy at home hosting DC United, who is in action tonight. We kind of mentioned that earlier. They're playing Nashville right now in a cup game. I'll get
2-2.
right to it. Oh, 2-2. Okay. Nashville leveling the score. Nice. All right, so here we go. LA Galaxy, they've been a topic of discussion all season. That's naturally going to happen when you win the league and then you break the record for, winless, the winless streak. It was really rough start to the season, to say the least, for LA Galaxy. They're still not in a great position, but they did get the monkey off their back a little bit. At the end of May, they got their first win of the season, 2-0 against LA Galaxy, against Salt Lake at home. And then they've showed that the switch has been flipped just a little bit. They've looked a lot better. They've kind of found, I know they brought in Christian Martinez to be the guy up top going into the season. Right now, the Nascimento, the Brazilian kid, the 21-year-old striker from Botafogo, he is actually kind of taking over that position, which is really nice because then you don't have to try to play paint cell up top. You can let the speedsters, Peck and Paint Cell, do their thing out wide. And they had a really nice performance against Vancouver. Obviously, Vancouver it was banged up, but really nice performance last week, 3-0 win at home. And I think LA Galaxy is due for a nice little run. That's what I'm doing here. I'm taking Galaxy on the money line, plus the over 1.5 goals at a minus 102 for an official 2-unit for the show. Look, DC United, they've conceded 39 goals in league play this year. There's only two teams that have been worse than that, and that's Montreal and LA Galaxy, obviously, right? LA Galaxy defensively not fantastic. They have only conceded, let's see, 3 goals in their last 2. So, that's a very small sample size. But this to me is about the LA Galaxy attack finally clicking, to be honest. And I think that they could put 2-3 goals, in. I almost expect it, to be honest. This is a pretty high confidence level spot for me. I like the way the Galaxy have looked, finally finding some confidence, finally found their guy up top with a young kid, young Brazilian. So, and DC United, just very rough. And then, cherry on top, we talk about it all the time on the show. They're going about as far east to west as you can go in the continental United States. So that is, also going to be a factor. Garrett, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, West Coast home field advantage, big plus here. I'm putting Galaxy money line in a lot of parlays this weekend. If I see something else I like for instance, Red Bulls team total under 1.5, I'm throwing that in with Galaxy money line. Like I'm just going to attack it, right? This is the time to jump on the Galaxy. They have this game plus 3 others before Leagues Cup starts. I could easily see them winning 3 of those 4. And unfortunately, you're not going to get like plus 160 like we talked about 2 weeks ago when I was like, man, I wish I could pull the trigger on that money line, but I just can't. And the Galaxy just smoked them. Like
Man.
that was the time to jump on them, man. That's when the ball started rolling. So I was looking at the day. There's no one with a bigger gap in their points versus expected points than the Galaxy. Galaxy's expected points is almost 24. They only have 12. They are going to close that gap over the next month. I promise. And so this is the time to jump on Galaxy and just ride them. I love the over 1.5 goals here, getting DC United on short rest, plus this LA attack. It's a good look. Again, like I said, I'm throwing Galaxy in a few parlays this weekend. Yeah, just be on the Galaxy in some fashion. This is the time to get on them.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about your words the other day watching LA Galaxy in Vancouver because I needed a Vancouver goal badly to cash the both teams scoring over 2.5. And I remembered us talking about, you were like, man, I just can't quite pull the trigger, but it's such a good Galaxy spot. And of course, they just absolutely beat the shit out of Vancouver. But all righty, there we go, folks. Official 2-unit, and we've got another one to round out the show.
So yeah, I added this one once the game tonight got postponed due to weather. They're not playing that cup game till August. And so this is going to be Philadelphia money line plus the under 3.5 as they host the New York Red Bulls for a nice plus 175.
Wow.
I just mentioned earlier Red Bull's team total under 1.5 might be my favorite parlay piece of the weekend. The offense has not been good when they travel. Um, and they've only actually won one game on the road. Philly, on points, are the third best team in the league. Their offense is rocking at home, but that offense has gone cold lately with only 3 goals in their last 5, albeit only one of those games was actually at home. The rest were on the road. Their attack at home, though, is still overperforming on the season. And I could still see it having some issues on Saturday as far as like just absolutely churning out 3, 4 goals like they have been. So I think adding the under here just creates great value on the Philadelphia money line. Philadelphia money line is playable on its own. I don't fault you if you want that. The Red Bulls attack doesn't scare me here at all. Philly's defense has been fine this season, especially at home. And then I get a Philly attack that I just think is just struggling to put it together. Now, granted, some of that was missing Baribo. He's back. He was going to start tonight if the game actually played. So I expect him to start on the weekend. Um, but I'm not scared about Philadelphia pounding the Red Bulls here, 3, 4 goals. That's not what I see. I don't know if the Red Bulls score at all. If they do, it's maybe one at most. If you want to get super safe, you could even still do the under 4.5 and get like plus 120, plus 115 or something like that. So there's a lot of ways to play this game. I'm just trying to maximize what I think is the value here based on these two teams matching up. And yeah, I love Philadelphia plus the under 3.5, and you're getting another nice plus money piece from me.
Yeah, it's a great price. I do think it's important to have Baribo back up top, the striker there, because you know you don't want a 0-0, right? You want somebody that can at least put one in for you here. So it's nice to have him back. Red Bull, they have not looked great on the road, which is kind of crazy because this used to be a team that we were back on the road a lot because of their style of play, but it's just a different team this year. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if they score. It might have to be a Forsberg free kick or something if it were to happen. Not to jinx us or anything, but I do. I like this look. I like this look for sure. All right. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 official show picks, including a 2-unit. Garrett, how is Miami going to pull off this Rodrigo de Paul move? How are they allowed to do it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. They got no DP slots. Something's got to happen. I don't know.
I was hoping for an answer. I was like, Garrett will know.
I don't know if they're just trying to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish I could tell you. Because they're talking about getting Brian Rodriguez too. I don't know how to make that work. Like I don't know how this team is going to make any of this work. So something's gonna have to happen, but I can't tell you what, man, unless somebody just decides to retire mid-season over the summer and be like, I'm done. Like I don't know how they make this work. So
well, I watched Sergio Busquets try to keep up with Carlos Heel earlier this evening, and I've never seen anything like it in Major League Soccer. Like he created so much separation. Like it looked like an old man, on Sunday League that was just like, I'm not gonna like.
Carlos Hill is still great. Like I said, I rave about him. He will go down as one of the best 10s that ever played in the MLS. I love the guy. He's just immensely talented even now. But he's no spring chicken. He can still create separation, but he's not just going to open field burn you. And so yeah, I know the play you're talking about, and it looks bad for.
It was shocking.
Like it's not good.
Yeah, I mean Suarez gets like most of the heat because like he's like the focal point, right? And like he gets a lot of balls kicked at him. Busquets is just as bad, if not worse. Like it is legit old men out there. But yeah, dude, I went and looked. I was like, oh, maybe Miami has lost some value in the futures market, and they're about to get Rodrigo de Paul and Brian Rodriguez. And so I went to look. No, they're still literally the favorite to win the whole
thing. They will always be, dude. I'm still going to have to sweat Messi for Golden Boot. And I said, like, I think I told you at the beginning of the season when we were talking futures, I was like, it's still Messi. Messi is still going to be the favorite. Like if anyone ruins this, it will be Messi. Like and now he's just pouring on it. I think he's got like 4 braces in a row. Like, like the dude is just playing. League's Cup can't come soon enough, man. I need these guys to get more games in and get tired. I can't get. Yeah, I need this to happen. Nashville up 3-2. Let's go, baby.
Oh, wow. There we go. Cool. Well,
What, are you looking at any other spots this weekend?
yeah, I am. I'll mention kind of what I've written down here. Leans. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Had some interest in Nashville. Double chance being playable. Didn't pull the trigger. Not sure I will, but I wrote that one down. Austin at home against New England, who had to play midweek. I know I'm not allowed to bet Austin, so this is. But I did write it down with all the flooding and stuff that happened, in the Austin area.
Didn't Brandon Vasquez get carted off last game?
Yeah, but I actually like it better if you just have Ozuni. If you just have him up there and not Vasquez, it's better. It's better to have one focal point for this team. So I actually like.
I can see it. I love the under 2.5 there.
It feels weird. It feels like a game that I hate to try to get in the way of narratives. I feel like it's Austin 2-0. To be honest, I feel like it's.
Hey, we take those if we're on the under 2.5. We take those.
Yeah, I mean, I still like rocking the under 3.5 at Austin games for parlay pieces. I still think that's plenty safe. I do like Austin. They're fairly decent plus money. I mean, like not so much with the draw no bets playable, but the minus 0.25 is. I wanted to ask you about one game in particular because like it's one of those that the odds are freaking me out a little bit. Chicago and San Diego. Chicago's team total is like even money or like even a little bit.
Chicago's attack is dog doo-doo at home.
Yeah,
they're completely different teams when they play at home and when they play on the road, and it's like the inverse of every other team. It doesn't make any sense, man. I can't bet goals here because Chicago at home just for whatever reason cannot score.
It's bizarre.
It's the weirdest thing.
I don't know if it's like they have trouble breaking people down when they have the ball, I guess is what it is. But I wanted to ask you about that game just because the odds were a little weird to me, but I didn't get involved yet. But
so the stats are a little skewed with Chicago because they've actually played 9 home games, right? And so if they played the full, like most teams are sitting on 10 or 11. If they have those 10 or 11, they're probably a top 10 attack at home, which normally be fine. But it is, dude. It's the weirdest thing. This team just, you can watch them and they don't even play the same. Like it's not, the identities totally shift around. It's super weird, dude. The way Berhalter has them playing at home. I don't understand it.
We've got hell is real rivalry.
Oh, I looked at both teams to score plus over 2.5 for a long time because it's right at like the juice limit. Getting draw vibes there too, but ultimately, like I'm not trusting this crew team. Like that's just where I am. It's a good side. I can't trust them to score when I need them to because they don't have that set 9, right? They're going to have their good games where they just pounce all over teams, and they're going to have games where they struggle to find the net even with a high XG. So I wanted action on that game because I love that matchup, and I just can't get into it.
Okay. When is NYCFC's new player arriving?
He can't play until July 24th. That's when the window opens.
Oh, okay.
Now, so going to Charlotte to NYCFC without looking at prices, I was like, both teams to score there, I absolutely love. You've got NYCFC, who on the road have the second worst attack in the league. Like they're just bad when they travel. And so I thought those analytics would play into the price and I would get like a good like parlay value, like minus 160, right? No, it's minus 200. Like it's just there's no value there for me on
Yeah.
a Charlotte side that is just leaking both teams to score everywhere over the past 2 months. And I I like New York City to score, but not at minus 200. Like I don't love that price. And so I probably actually won't have action there when I really like both teams to score.
Okay. Fair enough. That's pretty much all I had written down though, as far as leans. What about you?
I looked at Toronto when the lines opened and they were a little bit of a dog. They've moved now to just a slight favorite. That attack
Man.
sucks, man. I don't want I want to fade Atlanta because I think Atlanta's like actually bad and like actually coached poorly.
Yeah.
And the players just literally aren't playing well and like they're just not performing. But I can't back it at Toronto. Like that, yeah, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah.
If I don't like the Rapids playing tonight, like I would be on the Rapids this weekend hosting Vancouver if they weren't on the short rest. I don't like that either. And that's really it. Like I think there is something to have in this St. Louis Portland game, but like I think it requires like a much deeper dive. Like I've really got to sift through that to see if I actually find any value there in that game. Outside of that, we've covered pretty much everything that we thought was valuable already. So,
Yep. Cool. Alrighty, folks. Well, just a final reminder to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and a final thank you for tuning in. And we will be back the next couple of Wednesdays. We still got 2 more Wednesday shows before Leagues Cup. So we will for sure be back for those.
are we doing Leagues Cup action?
What was that?
Are we doing Leagues Cup action?
I don't know. You and I are going to have to talk about that because we have
see if they want it.
Well, of course they're going to want picks. I mean, we know who watches this show. But yeah, we'll talk about it. We have done it the last couple of years. First year was great. Last year was a little. It wasn't a bad result. It was just a little bit. It wasn't a brand new tournament, and some of the teams didn't care as much, and so that always makes things tricky, right? So we will definitely
Mexico.
Yeah, and Mexico being involved. We know how Garrett feels about that league. By the way, Liga MX is back this Friday, so
I love that they play 2 seasons every year. Like it's just wild. It's year round, baby.
It never ends, dude. Liga MX is the NFL in Mexico. Like it is.
Oh, of course. Like it's I know it's massive. Like its viewership even in the US is massive. Like
it's crazy.
I get it. It's just I just love that it's like we're playing 2 seasons every calendar year. Get ready.
You guys can have 3.5 weeks off.
Teams don't even get to celebrate like winning a championship because they start playing again in a month.
it is nuts, dude. It is nuts. I feel like we just watched Toluca win the league a few weeks ago.
Because you did.
We did. Yeah. All righty. Well, we will see you guys next Wednesday. Garrett, anything?
No, as always, like Cooper said, thanks for the support. Best of luck to whatever you're on this weekend, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.